Hello. So, I don't know how many people have realized that there's somebody sitting real close next to Candus in here. That would make there's 3 people in the front seat of this vehicle. I'm wondering who the other 2 people are. I'm going to finish playing this clip and I want you guys to pay attention. Who is that with the black pants on next to Candus? I was looking through these videos and I put it in slow mo. And this is what you see. There's somebody in black pants who's sitting right up next to Candus. That means there are more than 2 people in the car. There's actually 3. Hello, everybody. Linda Wilson, Lisa, Wandering Heart, Smiley's World, Scott H. Don't you find this odd? That nobody's even mentioned? We all knew there was another person who said no, but it looks like they were crammed tight up front. It makes you wonder who is the other person or the other 2 people that was with her in the last video of Summer Wells. I know this case has caught us all. Every day you get up, you look to see if there's an update. No, it's not a shadow of the gear shift. I've zoomed in on it. It's definitely a leg. There's a shadow on the leg, on the knee of that leg. But we all come every day we wake up and we wonder what happened to Summer. We know that this picture never has looked right from the beginning with the red spot on her stomach. That everybody just wants to wish it away. But personally, I don't care for the people who support Dawn and Candus. That's up to you. Personally, I believe they know what happened. But I'm not against the people who support them. We all have eyes and ears. We see and hear what's been going on in this case. None of us know all the facts, only law enforcement. They're the only ones who are going to solve this case. So I, like the rest of you guys, just want Summer found. I want her to get justice no matter Who's responsible? Kids just don't disappear. Picked up between Allie's house and home. Yeah, I can tell you what my personal opinion is. This is just my theory. That morning they had plans. And they took and dropped Summer off somewhere. I don't believe the swimming hole incident because David Dotson, the flute player, said he's seen video of the kids playing with the boys there. Therefore, I discount that they ever went to the water hole. They might have parked their vehicle down there, but I think all them stops she made was blowing time until she could go back and pick up Summer. Maybe she didn't expect something bad to happen, and it did. That's just my personal opinion. There's people in this case where, yes, I made a video about Christy, but Christy is the one who emailed me first. I mistakenly repeated that clip of Christy introducing Ziggy to Fred Hill, and I was wrong. So I made another video recanting that statement. And for Ziggy to give me a backhanded compliment, but say that Christy didn't live in the area that Candus was around that day, stopping at all them places, she needs to do her research. She might have moved, but her and her husband has a place right there in the middle of everywhere that Candus was that morning. Someone came to me yesterday and said allegedly MC put herself in there out of her mouth to lips, but I have not had time to check it out. Yeah, I don't trust Marlena Crawford. She emailed me in the beginning too and asked me not to speak of her daughter because her daughter was a victim also. So all these people that pop out, people with common sense start to wonder. Christy says she gave Chase $7,000 towards the billboard in honor of her husband's dead child. Well, your husband works in Kingsport. Why wouldn't you go and pay for the billboard yourself? You just give it to a random stranger, $7,000? And then when you get ripped off, you don't file a police report? You don't press charges? To me, common sense tells you that makes no sense at all. Isn't there a division in the front seat, like where the console is? If that's a person, then it's possibly 3 up front. It has one that lays down, but it's not laid down. I mean, you tell me, you guys, if you had $7,000, wouldn't you go and pay for the billboard yourself? Or if it's true you got ripped off, wouldn't you file a police report and press charges? That's a Chevy truck. Chevy trucks have the console that fits up in the middle of the seat, and it can lay down. Right, Cherokee girl. It can, but that's a leg. If you take a screenshot, zoom in, you'll see what I'm talking about. I don't trust none of these people that have inserted themselves, and their stories just make no damn sense. To me, Christy's been suspicious from the beginning, but I never did a video of her. I never talked about her until she sent me that email that I was because I put in TM's chat that Jody was mad because she wasn't getting cash apps. I wasn't talking about Christy Vincent. I didn't say Christy Vincent. So then when I got that email from her to tell me I'm putting out distractions in Summer's case and I need to shut the fuck up, and who am I? Who is she? I'm somebody who cares about this child. And I sure wouldn't give $7,000 of my money and get ripped off and not press charges. That makes no damn sense. I don't care who you are. I'm not going to give you $50 and get ripped off and not be mad as hell and press charges. But that's my opinion, which everybody's entitled to theirs. And if somebody shows me something to change my mind, then I may change my mind. But at this point, I haven't seen anything that doesn't point that the parents know exactly where Summer is. Because if I know where something is, I'm not going to help you look for it. Allegedly, Jose said when they drove him to 110 the first time, Allie, Grandis, and Candus were in the front. Also, FH said MC was up there on the 15th, all allegedly. I don't know. Well, we know on the 14th from Dobbs that there was a group up there, that they all come down to confront him. That Andy's parents were there, Andy and Jody Sue was there, Candus was there, Dawn was there, and other people. So it makes you wonder, why were they all there the 14th? Just because do you go across the street when a new neighbor lives by you to see what the hell they're doing or to run them out of your neighborhood? Or are you worried that somebody was going to see something, so you had to get them the hell out of there? I don't know how it works there in Beach Creek. I know there's a lot of shady people. And in the beginning, they point their fingers at everybody around to keep the heat off what's going on. Fred Hill said they stood at the end of the driveway the night that Summer disappeared, and we're talking about YouTube. So they already had put in motion and talked about how they were going to divert information in this case, in my opinion. Andrew H., New York. Yeah, I don't trust him. I think they were, this is my personal opinion, this is allegedly, don't sue me, but I believe they were either running drugs, which they dropped off at that storage building, or they were running children. One of the two, because their story don't make no damn sense to anybody who has any. In their head, it might sound good, but the people who have some common sense know that it doesn't sound right. And all Christy's done is made me come out here because I didn't do lives. I just did videos. But since she wants me to shut the fuck up so bad, and I don't know how sending Jody cash apps is going to derail the case. That makes no sense to me. And if somebody could explain that to me, I'm open to listen. When you look at the leg where you would bend your knee, it has material gathered right there in the bend of the knee, in my opinion. Yeah, and there's like they're wearing a white. They got something white on their lap. They couldn't tell the truth, just like Dawn and Candus. Unless it is a console with material crinkled. Yeah, it looks like a leg to me, the way they're sitting. Hey, Shay, good to see you. I just know we're all here and we all want Summer found. Nobody needs to fight. If they're for Dawn and Candace, then they're seeing information I haven't seen. And if they want to show it to me, I would be glad to look at it. But I'm not calling none of the suspects in the case. I don't care to talk to Dawn, Candace, Jody Sue, Andy. I don't care to talk to none of them people. That's law enforcement's job. I don't want their negative energy on me because, in my opinion, there's something sinister going on that hill. Yes, Mrs. Peacock, real justice. Subaru would be easier for Grandis to get in and out, just saying. Do you really think Grandis went to the water hole? I think she was dropped off at the hospital to make sure she had an alibi. If there's a person in the middle front seat, how was that person not caught on camera? Because the person taking the video is the one in the middle. That's why it's so close up to Candace's face. Who is MC? Marlena Crawford, Summer's best friend's mother. I don't think Grandma went to Horse Pond. No, because her interview, she's more or less telling you she don't remember. Come on, that should be the most tragic day of your life. How can you forget any details? Like Candace said, everything went in slow motion. You don't forget trauma like that. You just don't happen. But to see people slamming other creators, you should be happy. Every creator who talks about Summer, good, bad, or indifferent, it's putting her face out there. It's putting her name out there. It's letting people go and look up what's going on with this child that everybody's talking about. Heard in another video that maybe it was Leslie. Any thoughts? No, there's no telling who that was in the middle. No telling who the other person was. I would live, breathe anything my grandchild did that day, not forget. Exactly, Smiley. Come on, if it was any of our children, we would have went and knocked the doors down on every house in that area. You would be going nuts. No cop could keep you from searching for your child. Luda says, when evil entered, I'm happy to see you went live. You bring out excellent points. I agree, that looks like a leg. In my opinion, they all lie. They all have something to hide. 100, keep digging. Smiley says, I would need and want to know all details, no matter if I was there. Well, we know for sure Candace knows. Of course she knows. She didn't go look for Summer. She was on the phone with Allie, saying she wasn't going even out there to talk to law enforcement. No normal person does that. It makes no sense. So many have lost their lives throughout this case. The no voice could be that rabbied squirrel. It could be anybody. I just don't know. Now my dog's gonna bark to go out. Give me a second, you guys. I don't know. I'm open to anybody's opinion, especially about Christy. If you gave $7,000, wouldn't you be pressing charges on whoever did something? Sorry, my dog was barking. I agree. Good, bad, and indifferent just keeps it in the forefront. That's my opinion. Looks like a leg, but it's just my opinion. Voice never sounded like Grandis to me. Hey, Cher, thanks for coming. No, and who gives $7,000 and gets ripped off and doesn't file? There's no police report, no court action, no nothing about that. Did she really give $7,000 for a billboard, or was it something more sinister? Just makes me wonder. This is all allegedly. It's not Grandis, definitely not. Nope. Yeah, some people kill over that. Oh, I can say this. If somebody took my kid and I thought it was a neighbor, God would have God couldn't stop me, because you would see people without fingernails, toes. I would do everything I could, and I would be getting some kind of answers. Might not like the way I went about it, and I might end up in jail, but I would plead temporary insanity, because that's what I would be. Something is up with Christy. She did some weird stuff since she inserted herself in all that mess with the billboards. Yeah, she's the one who brings it on herself. It's like she's a sociopath. I just don't see how giving cash apps to Jody derails Summer's case. You know, she said, keep telling YouTubers lies and derail Summer's case. That just made no sense to me, especially when you're not even talking about her. She's the one who put herself out here. Yeah, Luda, that email she wrote was so bizarre. I mean, it was like instantly after I had typed that in the chat, she made sure she got my email and sent me that message. And I wasn't even going to respond to her. K Small says, someone with khaki pants that are wet up past the knee, and I've always thought it was Robin. That said, no in the truck, which was Grandis, gray truck with topper at when Evil entered. Yeah, somebody's in that truck. Two somebodies. Aletta says, try and record the video and play back, and there will appear the single pics of this video. You will find in between the frames what is going on in the video and what they are hiding. Aletta, I have seen where they have overlaid videos. If they don't arrest a bunch of people when this is all said and done, I will delete my channel, because in my opinion, Candace and Dawn didn't come up with this story all by themselves. There's money and power involved, or we wouldn't see all these people come in and divert in a missing child case. They can't all be scammers just out for money. I mean, you see scammers in every missing person case. You see a scammer here and a scammer there. But you don't see a whole group working together. And if they are, they all should be arrested under the RICO Act, because it's organized crime, no matter how you look at it. But I think creators should stop bashing creators. There's this one creator, I'm not going to mention who it is. I went to watch the videos over there, and I'll be damned if every minute there's a commercial. So for those who aren't YouTubers, they don't put commercials in no video 59 seconds apart. It just doesn't happen. They might put one every 4 minutes, every 2 minutes. but they're not one after another after another. How do you even get any information out to people if there's a commercial that you can't even skip every minute? I hate that. I won't even watch it. I'll watch the first 3 and then that's it. I'm done after the first 3 minutes. I don't have nothing else to watch. It's not important. Must not be important because you crapped it up with commercials. Voices said, I'm sorry, I can't with CPL of them. You already know which ones. No, I know. And these weird YouTube channels they make, you see, like Chase 423, Summer's favorite cartoon character. Then they build a prayer garden, which was really a memorial site, in my opinion. Then you see that name come up. Just some of the shittiest names you could be giving yourself, knowing the facts of Summer's case. You might as well put, I helped hide the body. I'm helping cover up. You know? I literally just let YouTube place them. I never go in and select my own placements of ads. F that. No, I don't either, voices. And if you watch my videos, you never see a commercial after commercial after commercial after commercial. I think what I have to say is important, and I'm trying to get information out. I'm not trying to get people to say, oh, forget this video. I mean, if you have Premiere, you won't see the videos. There's apps I could use, but then the creator doesn't get paid. So I don't do that either because I know how much it's easy to sit and talk for some people. I can't do, I have anxiety, so I prefer just to make videos and put out what I see, what I think, and be on my way. But since she told me to shut the fuck up, oh yeah, I'm going to be doing more videos. Very strange. Did anyone in chat ever watch the channel News Scroll Hole? She has about 12 vids on Summer. Very interesting in my opinion. Nope, but I'll check it out. Voices says, plus I don't mind taking claims, although most mines are limited. Have you tried comparing friend Kathy's voice to this person in the video? I really don't think Kathy met her till after Summer went missing. I mean, she says that I believe her. I just think she's an empath like most of us, and she wants to believe Candus. She wants to with all her heart. She loves Candus. I guess she's one you would want to be friends with because them are the ones who would help you hide the body, in my opinion. I just want to make people laugh in all the dark. Yeah, be the bean, that's what we need because this world's going to hell quick. My favorite name is Don's Ulcer. Yeah, I seen that last night in the lab. That was funny. So I just say, watch everybody. I watch everybody, whether I like them or I don't like them. Unless you crap it up with a shitload of commercials. I watch because if you're taking the time to do a video, then I'm assuming that you think something's really important and that we need to look at it. I want to look at from every direction. Why? Why would anyone want you to shut up talking about Summer or something else you're supposed to not speak on? Outdoorsy life, that would be something you'd have to ask Christy. She said I was diverting Summer's case by saying Jody was mad about not getting cash apps from Christy. And I wasn't even speaking of her. I never said Christy Vincent. If it was up, if TM ever puts it up, you could see I was not talking about Christy Vincent. So when she sent me that email, my hair stood on end. And yeah, I sent that email to a couple creators. I said, look at this. Wow. What else could I say about it? She's a person I've never spoke to, never spoke about, didn't care. You know, she was on my radar, but I just kind of side eyed her. That's all. But then the more I think about it, $7,000, you're not going to take $7,000 from me for a child's billboard and not go to jail, not be prosecuted, or not have to pay me back that money. You wouldn't be doing whatever the hell you wanted to with my money. That wouldn't work. How did Squall know Christy introduced Ziggy? There's some serious trolling going on, in my opinion. Well, Squirrel says that she was reading a comment and the comment got clipped and then it got dispersed and then it resurfaced a year later. So nobody can be angry at Killer Looks or me, because when I heard it, then that made me go, what the hell? And then that's why I brought Christie's email to the forefront. Bullshit, in my opinion. Yeah, but you have to prove, it seems like you have to prove everything on here. If you're saying it, you better have proof of it. So there's things I have talked to locals about, but people are scared. No matter what, nobody can't say that there aren't people who live in that area who aren't afraid of the people who run that place, whether it be law enforcement or the locals who've been there for decades. They're afraid. F the cornbread mafia. Hey, Green Eyes. I don't believe it's the cornbread mafia, but I won't hold it too far about that. There may be some organized crime ties. Just plain and simple. But I don't believe the cornbread mafia. Speaking of trolls, well, Green Eyes has never left anything in mine. But these people they don't scare me. I can tell you that. I live in the county where Grady Judd is the sheriff. He believes in pew-pews. And we have a stand your ground law here. If you make it through my pit bulls, then you won't make it. We don't call the law, we call the coroner. Hunter in CM's video pointed at Leslie and said where she was sitting. Yeah, I didn't trust that Leslie either. When people give you extra information, like when Chris was asking her specific information, and then she wanted to tell these other stories, they do that to divert. Grady Judd is fire. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do when he passes, because I think that's the only way he's going to leave office. So I hope the good Lord lets him live a long time. Yeah, I never trust Leslie. Is there any audio of MC to compare? Lippy would have that. Lippy's talked to her, as far as I know. I think she did some interviews with Lippy. Some of the things don't need to be online. There's a real threat to locals. Everyone knows everyone, or someone knows somebody that knows someone in the whole case. Poor Summer. No, you're right. You're right. I won't say whether I talked to an elderly man or an elderly woman, but there are people who've turned over their whole security system to TBI. So TBI has the vehicles that came in and out the hill that day. Jody Sue discussed the black Lincoln with dark tinted windows. So I figured I could talk about that because Jody Sue had already spoke of it back on Doug's channel. But she says there was no such vehicle. That's something that they would remember. Or is that something she doesn't want people to think happened? Lips talk to Marlena. Lippy is Clippy. I hope he runs for president. Honest, he's not. He said he's not going to run for president. He just wants to stay in Polk County. Yeah, I'm not sure with Lips. For her to go in front of a court of law and say she has information that could help find Summer and not turn it over to law enforcement. She says she did, but that's not how she was talking before the judge ripped her a new ass about it. She ain't turned shit over. And if she knows shit, that's where she should have went, is straight to law enforcement. Because at the end of the day, they're the only ones who are gonna solve this case. They're the only ones who are gonna put handcuffs on these people. Yeah, who does that? That made no sense to me. I've only made one. I didn't even call him. I made one email to TBI. Only one. And it wasn't from something I learned on YouTube or Facebook. Because I know they're busy. I also know there's been a lot of arrests being made for trafficking and pornographic material. I think it was Ogden, Utah, not even 7 months ago or 6 months ago. A head sheriff got arrested for doing that. And he's supposed to be protecting these children when he's the one abusing them. He's part of the problem. Lips and Lippy are two different people entirely. Well, thanks, Gigi, for saying that. Lips is the one who went to court, and Lippy is the good one? Or is it vice versa? Let us know. But they should be happy that every creator, like I said, good, bad, and different, every creator who puts Summer's face out there, people are coming around and seeing that there's a missing child. And then it sucks them in. You can't look at Summer's face and it not get to you in your soul. Lippy does the fun clips. Okay. It's just important to let them know anything you find out. They had me forward the information in the email. And I think that's the best way, is to forward it in the email. Then you're not tying up the phone lines. Then they can look at it when they have time as they're going through all the tips. I'm just glad that one person I talked to, that the information could be collected by law enforcement. I'm thankful for the channels that give us the space to talk about Summer's case without all the coddling of Don and Candus and Grandis. Well, yeah, everybody should be able to have their opinion regardless what it is. Like I say, if you're a Candus and Don supporter, you show me why what they said and their actions, I shouldn't go by it. I believe people show you who they are, you should believe them. Lips was who got her ass handed to her by the judge. Yeah, to me that was tacky. Pure tacky for her to bring that out in a case that had nothing to do with Summer. Justice for Summer. I think this year is the year of karma. I think the chickens are going to come home to roost, and all these people who've been wrapped up in this, whether they're the scammers or the actual culprits, I'm praying to God this is the year they come and get them. People tend to tell on themselves. Oh yeah, and psychopaths can't help it. They have to keep themselves inserted. If you notice, they all watch. They don't care what channel it is. Like I said, even Dawn and Candus, they don't care if it's good, bad, or indifferent against them. They tuning in. I think it's going to go another year or two. And it may. I'm looking at the way law enforcement spoke when they said we're looking for a piece of paper that she could be as small as a laptop. I think that's when I thought she's no longer with us and they're just building a case. But I can say, however long it takes, at least, or I pray at least, they're not hurting any other children because they're paranoid about being watched. Grandis was sitting beside Candace Bly in that truck. And then who was sitting on the driver's side? Where's Summer? Because that's the middle. That's slap ass in the middle. Oh yeah, they said that. Forgot about that. Dawn and Candace telling herself every time they speak. Oh yeah, they can't help themselves. I heard it was Marlena Crawford, allegedly. I don't doubt it. Supposedly, the day before, Marlena came and got her child from that hill. Why? Because she knew what was going to happen and she changed her mind? Was her kid supposed to be a victim? Was supposed to disappear too? Mods in chat, hello, good to see you. Just have to say, all who interfered, impeded, and lied in Summer's case will be arrested as well. And I hope so, the real Rockin' Robin. Because I was just rereading the TBI website this morning, and they know the people. They know who's been spewing false info on purpose. They know who the scammers are. They know. They have so much intel on this case. I'm still behind at Where's Summer. Why would she need to sit right beside her, though? Good question, Shay. Hello, always love your channel. Thanks, Laura. I started my channel because I went through all the other cases. Classic and Sincere. And, you know, sometimes you get in a chat that's so big, you can't read everybody's chat when there's so many people in there. And I had things I thought were important. So I decided just to make my own channel. Because I can put it out there. People either like me or they don't. You know what the sad part of it all is? My biggest videos, 17, 18,000 views, are from drama from one creator who faked that his cousin went to a party with Kylie Rodney, and it was his cousin. Just so happens they have the exact same name in that family. It must be a name they love. Maybe their grandfather or something, where their family names a couple kids the same name. But then they want to say, no, wasn't him. Yeah, but then when you look up a video about him, he's working for a company doing tech, and his name is right there. Same as the YouTuber's name. I didn't make that up. It's honest to God the truth. It's not spewing lies. You know, they want to say I was jealous of him. I really don't care. I just don't like to see people be shamed, purposely shamed. And then there was a video prior for that creator, months prior, that he was talking to somebody in prison who was supposed to have unalived somebody. And when you take the voice changer off, same person, same cousin. Wondering, YouTube, in my opinion, should have a place for just drama channels. From the front seat, could a sore person get that angle video pic? Looks like it's taken from back passenger. No, I think it's the person in the middle taking the video and leaves out the person on the passenger side door. You know, I've put something out that I come to later find out wasn't true, and I went back and I corrected. Because you want to stop it so it doesn't continue to spread. They do rub in the drama community, but they merged when the drama dried up. That's why we have a lot of drama channels, in my opinion. Shays, I have so much stuff going on. I pray I'd be able to watch you. My husband has surgery, just so much going on. Well, Kiki Eyes will pray for your husband. In my opinion, if I had been Christy, I would absolutely press charges. It could have been money laundering is a possibility. Yeah, Shay, or something more sinister. This is one of the best channels of all time. Oh, Cher, stop. Thank you, though. Always thought the no sounded like Leslie to me, Sage says. Questions. If the Rain Barrel video was taken shortly before the Milk Jug video, why don't the size of legs match? Barrel video has SW with scrawny legs. Milk Jug video legs don't match, in my opinion. I can't answer that. That white thing that is circled does not look like someone's leg to me, but that's just my opinion. I'm not talking about the white thing. I think that's something over the lap. I'm talking about the black and the white, where I have the yellow circled. But, hey, we're all entitled to our opinion. You may see something I don't. That's why God made us all different. We're all supposed to be free thinkers and think for ourselves. And that's why, even if people put bad comments, I leave them. That's their opinion. They're entitled to that. Sounds like Allie to me. Yeah, it's funny. Allie also had her phone. Supposedly it was dead during all this going on. How convenient is that? Because they think you can't track a phone if it's turned off. They really need to do their research a little better. Because even if I turn my phone off, I can turn it back on and Google will tell me everywhere I've been. What about true? Could have been true. Them things we won't know till law enforcement comes back. I know they have video. Nothing snuck by. I truly believe they're building a case. Because if they arrested them, then they would have to come out with the evidence. So I'm hoping if that's the reason that they're still building a case, because they know that Summer's already gone from this world. So they're collecting evidence and building cases and letting them think they got away with it. Because the time don't start until they're arrested. Then they can ask for a speedy trial, and then there's no more time to collect evidence. You better have it all together. Let's think. The leg looks wider than Candus's leg to me. Yeah, maybe a guy. I could see it being either Leslie or Grandma Candy, according to sound of voice. Yeah, and don't you find it weird that TBI has put over and over that the timeline, how she said that it was early afternoon hours. That's what Leslie Earhart says. But in there, she says on the post they make, it says, we will not be discussing any further with the timeline because we don't want to jeopardize the case. Leslie could not stand Candus. Why would she be with her? Think about that. Leslie and Candus never liked one another. What happened when I went to court yesterday, Dawn and Candus? Eddie Wonder, was it you that did a few videos that compared voices? No, Shay, that wasn't me. I don't remember who that was, but I do remember seeing it, hearing it. Birdie says, hey, Summer, what if that was an act, though, to distance themselves from one another? Yeah, wouldn't that be the first thing you'd want to do if you're involved in a crime, is disconnect yourself from them people? I'd like to know what happened in court yesterday with Dawn and Candus. Yeah, the kids might be the key. The boys, sad to say, may be the ones who are going to bust this case wide open. Also, in the milk jug video, if you slow it down and look at the driver's side mirror, you can see a face. Could Summers, but I really could not tell 100, but you can see that face. There's a tiny channel that breaks down the milk jug videos by the second in good quality. She says the mirror proves a person of African American heritage is in the front seat, allegedly, of course. And Wood Fairy, that would make sense to what Jody said, that the FBI was asking her. She said a POC, but she meant a person of color was in that black Lincoln. At where Summer, Candace told Benny Leslie was supposed to do the cabinets and floors, but didn't show up on Saturday after Summer disappeared. Channel Rabbit Holes Go Deep did some voice comparison. Oh, is that who it was? Rabbit Holes Go Deep. So I guess if y'all want to see the voice comparison, go over there. Looks like the white work truck. Did she switch trucks after dropping Grandis off? Mimi Jean, bingo. Helen, I don't think Kathy, the friend, I don't think she met her till after Summer was missing in a Facebook group or something. Years ago, Kingsput put cameras up in Riverview, Hunter's neighborhood. I think that was the last known place on CCTV. Well, I guess they're giving them enough time to get House back together so they can get the boys back. I hope not. Oh, that would be a crying shame. I worry about them boys because they've got to live with that stigma no matter what happens that their parents has put on them. Well, I guess they're giving them enough time to get the house back together so they can get the boys back. I hope not. I already read that. Consider if 3 people were packed in the front seat. Why? There was room in the back by SW. Why not sit by her? Wood Fairy, because they needed this last proof of life to show law enforcement. Not only to show law enforcement, but to show the world. I believe they had a plan to come to YouTube. Fred Hill is specific about saying they spoke about that at the end of the thing. Hey, Nita's World. I've always wondered if this was JSB. Could be. That's not JSB's voice. That don't mean she ain't the third person. There's Candus, somebody in the middle, and somebody on the passenger side, in my opinion. Maybe someone should ask Grandis if that was her in the truck that said that. Would solve it. I'm sure people talk to them all. Yeah. The ones who talk to them don't ask no hard pushing questions. And the ones who do ask the hard questions get called the N-word and all kinds of nasty names. I pray to God they never get the boys back. I've been here and Robin's doing a lot of work on their house. Yeah, and that's suspect to me too. All this money coming out towards the Wells and others involved in Summer's case. Why? Is it really for they're doing it out of the goodness of their hearts? Or is there a debt that is still to be paid? No, they won't do that. Too busy cozying up to the suspects. I've been here and Robin's been helping them work. What are they doing to the house? Kiki? A whole total remodel? Because if you guys remember in the beginning, Robin was crying that her husband lost his job at Donmar Park next to Eastman he worked. And she didn't know how she was going to make it, but the Lord was going to provide for her. Birdie says, what were you saying about Fred and YouTube? That he said, if you go back through Ziggy's videos, he said they were all standing at the bottom of the hill while the helicopters were searching, and they were talking about YouTube. That means they had planned who they were going to target, who was going to get their story out there the way they wanted it out there. Woodford, that's what I was getting at. That makes me think even more that something was wrong with this precious child and how the bottom of her jacket was pulled down under the seatbelt. An adult did that. Of course, they even pushed the milk in. You can see where they tried so her head would fit. And then they must have did it too low, so they had to do it again, in my opinion. Yeah, they put her shirt on while she was already out of it. That's why the hood is that way. I remember that. Leslie tried to control Allie's answers on Unmasked. Yeah, there's always somebody trying to control what narrative they want us to believe happened. And then if they can't get the people to go with their story, then they throw in the chaos. They just dump a whole bunch of people in there. I haven't read that book, The Art of War, but it makes you wonder if somewhere they read this, if there's a movie about it. That's why I say there's somebody more intelligent than Dawn and Candus who is running this whole horse and pony show here. Birdie says the parents. Hi everyone, first time, but I've been following Summer Wells' case for a few months. I'm no expert, but this motley assortment of characters on the hill, well, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see what the hell's been going on. You just have to have some common sense. Listen and watch. That's why I say watch every channel. Everybody who's doing anything. Read the comments. You'll see some real weird shit going on in comment sections that people are talking in code to one another. I still have one question that nobody will ever seem to answer, and that is, who and how did Blue Roof Dawn know Summer was even missing when he was with Jody Sue in the creek? Yep, and we will probably never get that answer. I heard she's using her retirement money. Okay, Kiki, if that's true, why didn't she use that retirement money when her husband got fired and she was freaking out about not having no money? You'd think, when you pull that out to use for yourself? That's what I'm saying. We have to use common sense. And everybody should just don't attack no other, even if people don't, whatever their beliefs are, they're keeping Summer's face out there. They're keeping the spotlight on Summer's case, whether they're talking good or bad or indifferent. They're keeping her face and her name out there. And people them videos come across people's, oh, what they want, recommend for what YouTube recommends them to watch. I heard Candus say she stopped and asked if he saw Summer when she was in a truck. I can't remember where it was. But she went on a trip after Summer went missing. Oh, who? You know, that's I'm glad you brought that up, because that's another thing. Not only did Grandis take a trip, but Andy supposedly went to Knoxville. Then Dawn took off. Kind of weird that they all take off after this child went missing and leave the holler. But first they stayed down there in the road for 3 days to hear everything that was going on. They didn't want to miss whatever law enforcement had to say. Hi, Grace Paris. Hello, everyone. This is my first time. This seems like a peaceful channel. I've been following Summer's case, and you're right. They're quick to use the N-word when you're trying to tell them the truth. Yeah. When you hit a nerve, that's when he goes off. Go back and listen. And then you have to say to yourself, wow, he didn't want to answer that or talk about that. So now he's slinging racial slurs. That can't be true, because remember, Jody was going to the creek. People, Candus even come down the driveway. Yeah, is that even true? What is the truth? That's what we don't even know. She had a huge smile about the day Summer went missing, talking about packing a picnic to go search. Yeah, and that was a red flag to a lot of people. Was waiting to make sure Wells weren't speaking. Oh no, there won't be no suspects on my channel ever. Not none. Friend Kathy, you can pick everything she said apart. PIs have her call Hawkins for Woman on the Hill because they didn't want on scanner. If Ellie is dispatched to 110, it will be on scanner no matter. Unless Ellie has some kind of involvement in all this. Because what cops takes liquor to a missing kid's parent? I've never heard such shit in my life. No cop should be taking liquor to no crime scene. Because then anything them people say can't be used against them in court because they were under the influence. So did Andy. He went down on that lake to a yacht that his boss had down there, allegedly, even though JSP is the one who told it. Well, Fred told it too, said that he took off. They stayed down there for 4 days, 3 or 4 days, day and night. And then Andy took off. Grandis took off. Don took off. Does Don say the N-word in church? He may. He may. It was Blue Roof's Don's normal time of day to be out. No, he might take walks every day or something. I never bought Robin's Act. There's 4 of them. I refuse to watch, and that's BK Campster. Yes, be sorry if that makes you mad. It don't make me mad. I'm just like everybody else. I watch everybody. Nobody's gonna tell me to watch this one, don't watch that one. Oh, I seen you. If you seen me in that chat, that means you were in there watching that creator yourself. I mean, you don't have to like them to watch them. But you might want some information. They may have it. So if you make yourself where you just shut everybody off, then you may miss some information. That's all. That's how I feel about it. I don't like everybody, but I don't have to. It's not about me. It's about Summer. It's about keeping her name and her story out there. Because each day that somebody's video runs, there's new people who come in and see that and talk to their friends and family about Summer. Thank God this is not a Candace and Dawn channel. No, I'm not. I'm not on the parent side at all. Because I'm a mother, and I can tell you, I would have went psychotic if something was to happen to my kids, and nobody would be safe in that neighborhood till I found out what happened to my kid. I would vigilante, what you're not supposed to do, but I think I would do it. I wouldn't care at that point. The older you get, the less you care about yourself and the more you care about your family. I heard a young man mowing lawns with a hat and coveralls seen something. Yeah, that could be. But them people really, they need to be left alone, because them are the people who are going to be the ones who are going to be sitting on that stand when arrests are made. Anything we have been told, the first and only person that told all of them that information was Candus Bly herself. I forgot where we put. There is a video of the DW driving the Subaru. It might show if there is a console between the seats. My Subaru has a console between the seats. Yeah, but they're supposed to be in the truck, not a Subaru. Yep, life just goes on for Dawn and Candace and Grandis. They care about covering their own ass above all else. Oh yeah, and don't think they don't keep popping back on, because they need money. They need sympathizers who will Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, do all that for them. Send them gifts through Amazon. What parent does that? When they come on, when somebody shared their platform with them, they should be begging for their child, telling us about them. The only thing you know about Summer from the parents is that she twirled and she was the boss, which we know that there's more to that child at 5 years old than she can twirl. I listen to a lot of channels. I don't have to sub up or talk and chat. Listening has given us a lot when it comes to the suspects and their supporters. Real Rockin' Robin, you're right. For 2 years, I've been in a lot of different chats to see what's going on. And I read people who talk back and forth. I think that was the most eye-opening thing for me in the beginning, is all the code talkers. And then you realize later on, they all knew each other. Dawn goes on panels for damage control, but inevitably goes psychotic when questioned. Oh yeah, if you hit that button he don't want you to talk about, he freaks. And he don't know how to talk like a human. He has to insult your intelligence and call you nasty names. I worked in criminal court here in Knoxville for years. Parents are too innocent to be innocent. Well, me, I would be beating doors down. I am and will always be a Summer supporter, not anyone else. And that's how it should be. Every one of us are here because we care about that child. We care that she hasn't been found. We care that to make sure she gets justice. We are perfect strangers to Summer Wells, and it seems like we care more than our own parents do. We try to get her story out there. That's the thing that really bothers me. I like going to the good channels, like yours. Oh, thanks, Kiki. Is that truck a Silverado? Why in the heck are they sitting so close? Most Silverados have a console in the middle. Yeah, and that console's not down. What innocent parent hides in the house when their child goes missing? Right, you'd think she would be talking to law enforcement to get as much information to them as she can. And she would have her ass out there beating people's doors down, screaming for Summer if you thought she just wandered away. Suspects do not get my sympathy. Alicia P. mine either. I just don't have it. I don't feel for them. They don't they don't jerk my heartstrings. Her friend made me feel something towards her. I felt bad for her friend. But now I'm starting to wonder, is her friend on here to make people feel a certain way? I just feel that she cares about Candus. Any parents that have lost as many kids as they have tell you all you need to know. No one was there for Summer before she went missing, so we the people, Summer's our army, are here now. Right, and it haunts us. I know most of y'all are probably like me. Every day you get up and you Google Summer Wells. Is there anything new on Summer Wells? You go to YouTube and you say, is there anything new on Summer Wells? Have they found her? Have they arrested anybody? That's all we want. You know, some people say, oh, y'all are just tragedy pimps. Well, there are some out there. But hey, at least they're still getting Summer's story out there. Just don't cram your channel up with a shitload of every minute a commercial. I don't like Candus's action. If my kids was missing, I'd have someone else call 911, or I ran to look for her. Yeah, and you wouldn't have stopped looking for her. Where is Andy's wife from? Knoxville area? I don't know. That's something you could probably ask Shay. She's talked to her. No crying for Summer, only for herself. No, have you seen any tears other than the fake tears when she called Mary to say Don was arrested and stormed the Capitol? Who would put an electric cord on a Christmas list for their daughter? Somebody who wanted a extension cord but used their child to get what they wanted. 21 months I eat, sleep, and look for Summer. Mammy Jean, I'm right here with you. It's been 2 years. It doesn't even seem like it's almost 2 full years. This child has been missing, and no sighting, no nothing. Nothing from her parents. Now Candus on FaceTime, alleged with Allie and Leslie listening, alleged messed up. Instead of talking with Ellie about her own daughter. Yeah, that really bothered me. She cries over losing friends she met online over Summer. She didn't like being called out for wanting to leave. I live in East Tennessee. I've never seen a flyer in Seaver County, Knoxville, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, or anywhere. No, because they don't want to put them out there. Let's go back when all the panel jumping was going on with Candus. Nobody was allowed to even mention Summer in the lives. It was just about the love bombing Candus and putting money on her Cash App. That's the only reason I feel they come to YouTube. Is to say, hey, feel sorry for me. My daughter's missing, but I'm not going to talk about her. I'm not going to tell you exactly what really happened. But here's my PayPal, my Cash App. I just don't. I just can't with that. I just cannot understand her mentality at all. How do you not lose your mind over your own baby? Right. Because most of us mothers in here would probably be in a mental ward after searching and searching and searching for our child. I still wonder if Summer ever got out of that car, whether accident or not. Yeah, she got out of the car, but I don't think it was at home. And that's my opinion. I don't think she ever went back home from that morning. Do you think they're waiting for the CPS? It's a possibility that's what they did with Classic and Sincere, also known as Orrin and Orson. Does anyone in chat consider Reverend Donna Serafina readings on Summer? I never hear it mentioned. Well, people are divided, but I believe Donna has a gift, And what made me watch Donna, this is my personal opinion because I'm a Southern Baptist and it's totally against my religion to think that a psychic can tell you things. But I watched her videos 4 months prior to Tylee and JJ in the Lori Vallow case being found. There's no way. Then you watch the prelim. Donna told you how them kids were going to be found 4 months prior to when they were found. How is that possible? There is no way in hell she would know that unless Spirit told her that. Radar did not seem to think she returned that day either. The Vallow case made me watch her. Yeah, that's what made me. I used to watch her, but it seems to me if someone who's so psychic didn't tell us where Summer is. Well, the way in her first video with Tylee and JJ, it's like they give her interpretations from things out of her life to give her clues about certain things. Seems like either an accident or a planned abduction to me. Multiple hands-offs with Summer to not trace the vehicles. Poor cell signal equals possibility of card team not getting all cell pings. Wi-Fi possibility. Yeah, Tyra, she did say where them kids were. If you go back and look at her videos from 4 months prior, how would she know they put a white plastic bag over JJ, then duct taped it, then put a black bag over him, and then duct taped his head, the middle of his body, and his feet? No way she would know that. How'd they know she chopped up Tylee and that they even roasted her leg and took bites off of her thigh? There's just no way. You would not know that. You can't just pick that out your ass. You can't just look at locations in the area and come up with that. It's too specific. Sketchy how each time Candus came to H house, changed Summerwell's clothes, or came back to talk to H, that Allie was either asleep or in the bathroom. I call bullshit. She's pulling a Grandis. I was asleep. Yeah, if you look at a lot of cases, a lot of the suspects who usually end up being arrested for the crime have used that same thing. I was asleep. I was passed out. I don't know why their mind goes to that. I really don't believe in readings or spirit boxes because I'm a Christian. We aren't supposed to believe on these things. But a creator named McKee does the spirit box reading. It's his last. Whoa, reading he did on Summer. He was in Tennessee. It blew my mind. Yeah, you're taught not to listen to fortune tellers and psychics and all that. I mean, it's been beat into you if you go to church since you were a child. But you do see prophets in the Bible. So what separates the psychic from the prophet? That's what I would like to know. Still on this day, nobody believes that Dawn told me the only reason why I called the sister and called that prank was because the sister was calling every 15 minutes and he wanted to get back at her. Yeah, who's doing pranks when your child's missing? Who has the energy or time for that? We can't believe anyone on Ben Hill because they all lie. That's true. Yes, I've seen him. He is good. She was asleep in the bathroom, allegedly. So, yeah, Donna said herself that psychics are only 80%. I mean, when she was doing the Tylee and JJ, she kept saying, this can't be so. This has got to be a trickster spirit. Which she knew how horrible those people are going to burn in hell. I still clear up all psychics and fortune teller. My faith is in God alone through Christ. Well, my faith is in God too. But I just don't know how she knows. That's That's the thing that's got me. I've looked at it every which way. So it just makes me wonder, is she like a prophet? Is the difference between a psychic and a prophet financial? Because in the Bible, the prophets didn't take money? I don't know. Oh, I'd go to Ben Hill, but I ended up getting arrested. Yeah, G-Ma, I know exactly how you feel, because there was a time in this case I could have went there and probably would have ended up in jail. McKee did his reading right next to the drive up to their house in his car. Yeah, McKee, I guess demons come into his that he has to rebuke. I'm not saying I believe them all, because I don't. Agree that when he went there, I think there are several prophets here on earth. Yeah, I just don't want to argue with anybody about Reverend Donna. I believe what I believe. You're entitled to believe what you believe. I believe, I'm telling you, I thought they were all full of shit and just out for money. That was my opinion, and it was against my religion. But this has made me think about it. I've had psychic dreams since I was a teen. Mine are about a specific subject, though, not true crime related. But I did have a very vivid dream about summer I can't shake. Yeah, but they didn't in this reading. It was wild. He said Ben Hill is very dark. I believe that. And, I was looking into Wiccan, how they believe their church, how they follow. And in there it says they can't wear perfume, they have to be clean. And it just brought me back to Jody Sue's in that one video where she says, make sure you have no perfume. That always struck me as odd. But I guess until this case is solved, we can side eye. We can look at these people, but we won't know the answers until people are arrested. So there's not one person on here who's better than anybody else. We're all looking for answers. So you can't talk about one creator bad, because at least they're still getting her name out there. Jody Sue is an atheist. Yeah, I don't. She may be. I won't argue psychics, necromancers, mediums exist, but their power is not from God. I would bet anything it's going to be abuse, foul play on Candus or Grandis, part 1. This is done, over with, just my opinion. JSB is a piece of work. The Wells do not paint a pretty picture for themselves. Has anyone heard anything on remains found in Carroll County? Yeah, Real Rock and Robin, I've talked to the sheriff over there. They got the body. They sent it to the lab. The lab couldn't collect all the evidence needed, and I think they sent it off to Roanoke, Virginia. I think she is a Satanist, but that's just my opinion. So I'm waiting. The sheriff's supposed to call me when they can release more information. I seen on Wiki that they said it was a doe, a female, but the sheriff didn't say that to me. He just said it's unidentified. He can't tell you. He can't tell us. So that's how we have to wait and see about that child. In a way, I want it to be summer, but then in a way, I don't want it to be summer. I would rather her be alive. Who is a Satanist? I think she's referring to JSB. Yep, I'm God-fearing. I believe in God. I don't worship no man. I believe we're all the same here. The real rock and roll. I wondered about the remains for Virginia too. I noticed Don and Candace popped up online after it was reported in the news, though. Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Wood Fairy, because I thought the same thing. Here comes all this shit right back out as soon as them remains were found. Are they nervous? Are they trying to sway the public so if something comes out that it is Summer? Because they say the remains were in a garbage can, but were the remains really in a barrel and they're calling it a garbage can? I just wonder about that because the child had 2-inch hair. Yes, have had my heart sink. I'll be doing a video on it soon. It was estimated that it could be up to 5 years old, but the blankets found didn't look like it. Yeah, and I did a forensic thing about that, Shay. You can use if you want. That because of the way the weather is, there's no way for them to know how long that body's been there by just looking at it without it going for testing. Because no, the blankets weren't even rotted. All I know is I don't want to be behind Don or Candace when they go in front of God because I don't want him to take his anger out on me. At Kiki, they got a special place for people like them, and it won't be where we're going. Good Godfrey, what? Oh no. Don had access to plenty of barrels. God, I pray she is found, but not like that. Yeah, but isn't it strange? They found this child in September the 6th, okay? Here we are in March 17th. Still not a peep other than the remains had to be sent to another lab. Nothing. Not even an inkling of who could it be or if any parents. There was one man who thought it was his son, but they never, usually they go to the family who they think the body belongs to and let them know. Not a peep. Nothing. I really think Allie was asleep and didn't know that Hunter even left with Candace, but couldn't say. She didn't know he was fine because he was on probation and he would be in trouble. Donna described a lot of that area, that gates, etc., when she was seeing Summer and the visions of what happened to Summer. But she did say as she was doing that reading, it could be something else they want us to look at. Entomologist examination will be able to determine the length of time it's been there thanks to the body farm. Yes, bee's knees. That's exactly right. They even put their poop in barrels. Gross. Just curious about where the Virginia remains found were in closeness to where Dudley lived. I don't know where Dudley lived, but that is a good question. I will look it up. But it's strange, like when they went to celebrate Summer's birthday, they all went North Carolina or something. At Evil Entered, I only talked to Andy for a very limited time, and she answered his message once. Oh, I thought you had spoke to her more than that. But you see, can't assume nothing on here. I pray Summer had at least one dental visit with x-rays. Robin. Yeah, you would think that would be Robin's top priority to get some dental work done if that's what she was doing for a living. Hunter does what Hunter wants to do, and Allie won't tell on him. You know what's strange is, you remember the guy who tried to steal that boy off the lawnmower? And they said there was another person with him. And then next thing you know, Hunter is picked up and his dad was saying he was in a home or whatever, not in jail. I honestly believe that they were out trying to get another child and H was with him. That's my personal opinion. And when I was trying to get his father to answer that question, he would not. I thought atheists don't believe in Christmas. I think H is a big key to this case. Yeah, and him throwing up all them gang signs, it makes you wonder. I didn't know about remains of a little one being found in Virginia. I thought Robin said she had brought Summer for her first dental exam. Yeah, well, you'd think they would have fixed her teeth if she took her. But yeah, the remains were found in September, and they've had plenty of time to figure out something or come to the public to figure out who that child is. Don went in that direction too about H. Hunter's neighbor isn't ideal. Look at the history. Is H back in jail? Oh, I don't know. Oh god, I just heard about Tyler. I followed that case, just not lately. When I said H was in a gang and was throwing up gang signs, everyone told me I was crazy at the beginning, laughing my ass off. Bet they feel crazy now. Yeah, that's what I don't understand. Where Summer, it's okay for other creators to have an opinion, but for you to have an opinion, they will hang you at the cross. That's why I guess I'm in the other category. I watch everybody, and I just want to know what happened to Summer. If it was Summer, it'd be an investigation. They're not allowed to talk to the Wells. Right, save our bees. 9K, thank you. Listening in kitchen cooking. What are you cooking, Grace? There's definitely gangs in his neighborhood. Oh, H absolutely did gang signs. Yeah. And there's the cartel is alive and well in Hawkins County, Tennessee. You see them being arrested. You see them. There was a big case where they were buying chemicals from Eastman Chemical Company. That's all public record. Just Google it. You'll see what I'm saying is the truth. So the cartel was going to Eastman to get drugs, probably to make their meth. And they all got busted. Well, it's funny. A lot of people in that area, where did they work? Eastman. I felt H somehow got a ride back up to the Wells and kidnapped her that day because he knew the home and could sneak up there, and Summer would have easily walked off with him. Lynetta, I don't believe Summer ever went home. I think, my personal opinion, I think she was deceased in that back seat. I think that's blood coming from her belly. And that's my opinion. Do I think H knows what happened? Yeah, I do. I think his girlfriend did too, just because of the post she put. Cartels in the Tri-Cities for sure. Oh yeah, Cartel's there, and I believe that Sheriff's Department gets paid off to look the other way on the big drug trafficking ring there. Eastman is also beside H neighborhood. I've been trying to tell people this. No one wants to hear it. No, and that's what I'm saying. Even if you give people the facts and you show them the information, they still will discard you. But are they the creators who have been paid to make sure certain information don't get out there? But if you're a creator and you find out that a cartel member is involved, please do not put that information online because their reach is everywhere. So you're just better off, for your own safety, not to even put it out there, because that is dangerous. They have no couth. They do not care. They unalive people every day over there across the Mexican border. They hang 50 men off of a bridge. They just don't care. They got the devil in them. They got demons in them or something. That's just my own personal feelings about that. Because if I knew exactly a cartel member that I could point you to, I would not put it on YouTube. I want to know, what about the story that Grandma said that Summer was sick and Candace took her to Dawn? What happened after that? Think about it. There's always some truth into what these people say because they have to remember at least half-assed of their story. So everything that they said, I don't believe is a lie. I believe there's a piece of truth in all their bullshit. Thank you. Thank you, 80 Katie. Which creators are paid? That I won't say. I won't say. I'm going to leave that as my personal opinion. And I can just say, sit back, watch certain things, watch their chats. It don't take you long when you pay attention to who is who and what is what, especially when people talk in code. Why are you talking in code in a missing child case? Wonder if Ronnie's son was involved and that's why things are being sketchy. Yeah, I've wondered that too. I also wondered if they just didn't want that information. Ronnie didn't want that information out, so he didn't put out shit because he didn't want others to put out his shit. In my opinion, I think something happened at the swimming hole. She couldn't take Summer to ER, made sure she was saw by Allie, called Don. He disposed of her. That's just my opinion. But Grace, Allie came back out and said that she lied. She never went to the truck. Juarez, Mexico has over 100 deaths in a weekend. Yep. Sure, Lynn. Okay, I can guess. Yeah, please do. I don't want to put down other creators. I just don't want to do it. I think every person who's not discussing Summer is one less person, to put Summer's face out there for others to see, because there might be something that clicks. One person's memory that they've seen somebody with her at an apartment complex, or fishing, or swimming, or something prior to when she went missing that could link everything all together. So I believe every video that goes out helps her in some way. I believe the church has something to do with it personally, and that's a possibility too. Everything's on the table. Shay, hello, my fellow official member of the Fly Swat Media, Rhonda says. Could have been the reason they stopped by to get a slushie that day, to try to make her feel better because she was in the car too long, hoping she cooled down. Or did they have Summer's little brother in there? So there was a person there and they wanted them to think it was Summer. There's possibilities. It just makes you wonder, because shaving her hair, that I'm never gonna understand. To shave a child's head that bald is horrifying. Has anyone talked to, questioned, or interviewed a lady whose nickname is allegedly Red? I think she's supposed to be the mother of H's girlfriend. I'm sure the cops have talked to her. I don't talk to none of the suspects. I don't reach out to them. I don't have nothing for them. I would not let them succubus my energy at all. There was a common understanding that people keep their mouths shut in Hawkins County because everyone is either a drug dealer, a pervert, or a shady cop. Yeah, and I've heard that firsthand from somebody who lived there. I do appreciate you letting us have our opinions in here and not getting blocked or timed out. Yeah, I don't think I even have any mods. When I started, I had some, but it seemed like people were getting blocked even when I wasn't even doing lives. I didn't understand that part either. Yeah, I wonder why that milk didn't have condensation on it. I think that milk was bought and she was put in that car and took a picture of hours after that milk was bought. When I saw her head on the swing, there's circles shaved around the top of her head. Whose channel am I on? I like this one. Grace Paris. It's called When Evil Entered. I named it that channel because after watching the Chris Watts case, seems like evil enters these people that like nothing's wrong with them, and then all of a sudden they unalive their family or their children. I don't get that. Ronnie turned a blind eye to Don in exchange for Don keeping his mouth shut about his son, because I think Don had to be aware of what was going on. Yeah, but isn't it funny that a lot of the people and the locals in the town didn't say nothing? A lot of people didn't know. Oh, thanks, Grace. Yeah, I want everybody here to be able to put their opinions out, because you might teach me something. There might be something that you've seen or heard that I haven't. I'm open to all possibilities, but so far I've only seen one, and there's not been anything put out, not from the mother or the father, to make me think any different. Trust me, they are not in a cartel gang. Nobody in the town says anything about her. Thank you for letting us be who we are. Well, Grace, we're Americans. I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm for freedom of speech. That's what I'm saying about Hawkins County. A good old boy agreement. Yep, and everybody knows their place. All the way to the scalp. Yep, what they did to that child was horrible. But if they did it because she was being punished, what was Candus being punished for also? Because her head was shaved too. Just, I'm sure she didn't let nobody take pictures of it if it was shaved like Summers. Yeah, public hanging, public execution. I believe they should bring that back too. Cut thieves' fingers off. Yep. I'm a supporter in that too, because I think it would stop the crime as horrible as it's come. Candace has no shame. No, she don't. But neither does Don. Look, he poops right on live and lets the world see his dingling and everything. That's no coot. Who owns a black Lincoln? Rich people? Diplomats? I don't know. Somebody with dark tinted windows. Could be a limousine company. I don't know. Maybe Don was trying to sell Candace too and shaved her head. Yeah, anything's a possibility. I've also thought that Grandma Candace and the old man that was staying on that property both left quickly, and I think they might have together could have had something to do with it. Yep. And they allowed them to gut that house. They allowed them to throw furniture away. Any other county in this country would have took that, or at least seen if there was any kind of evidence on the mattress, the vehicles. I've never understood that. He is disgusting. I heard they might bring the firing squad back for Idaho. That would be good. I support that. So where did the Lincoln thing come from? Be the Bean, First, I heard from it from a local, somebody who showed me a surveillance video, but I never spoke about it because this person is scared to death. But then when I was reviewing videos, I seen Jody Sue spoke of that vehicle. So once she spoke of it, it was out there anyways. So then I spoke about it because of what I seen with my own two eyes. And then what Jody Sue said then made sense. That's why I say there's some truth in what they're saying. I think maybe they shaved her head to look like her little brother. Can you imagine how she felt when they shaved her head? Yeah, because they said she wanted to be a princess. I'm late, going to have to catch up the replay. Sent my little bro who was in Kingsport military base on a mission to look and ask. No flyer. Businesses wouldn't answer questions about Summer Wells. Act like they didn't know about her. Yeah, have you wondered why big other news stations haven't come on and spoke of Summer Wells? Because is law enforcement telling them, we already know she's no longer with us and we're trying to build a case, so there's really nothing to report on? Yeah, Grace, she did say lies, but you don't scalp a child for head lies. An interrogator first objective is to place somebody at a crime scene or accident. Hunter placed himself. You're right, Green Eyes. What was up with Don banging that refrigerator on the news? I don't know. I think they had a lot of drug problems. Makes you wonder if there's some truth to somebody leaving a bunch of drugs at Don's and then him selling and doing them, because you remember how skinny in them pictures he was. Didn't even look like the same guy. Did he get high on on somebody else's supply? That made me wonder too. Because he was so skinny, he looked like he was 80 years old. You know very well Summer loved girly things. It was Candus who tried to force her to be like a boy. Candus has an issue with girls. Cheryl, the fridge must have been a bad fridge because he was so pissed. Candus blaming her own son, fact, for possibly what H really did. Where's Summer? That is exactly what said on McKee's reading. So Dawn will cover it up. Well, think about it, Green Eyes. If they did that to their child, they're going to put it towards the children because they think the children won't get as much punishment as an adult. There's a lot of piece of shit parents who do that, put it on the child and make the child take the blame for their shit. The way I remember it, every LE professional seemed very troubled by the head shaving and its implications. Plus, they got the Rose murder shutting them all up. Yeah, and how many people have two people in their family vanish without a trace? And for Dawn to say, there's no evidence, you'll never find no evidence. Well, there are cases, I was looking at that too, in Tennessee, that people have been prosecuted without a body. You don't have to have a body to go to trial. And 80% of the cases are won and people do time for it. We all have different opinions to what happened to Summer, but what happened to Candus first? Two kids tell me what also happened. She or Candus done to Summer, in my opinion. If Hunter did something, why would Don cover that up? He wouldn't unless he was involved doing it at the same time. So many distractions in Summer Case, and I'm grateful for creators keeping her name out there. It's amazing, really, how much we all love her without knowing her. Yep, indictments could be pending. That's what I'm praying, that they're building the case. They're building the case, and eventually all their dominoes are going to fall, and people are going to start being put away. The pillar that got poured and the boss was made that Dudley spoke of haunts me. As you said, Don says never find evidence. Were they traveling in the direction of going home or going towards Jonesboro in that video? Honestly, I think they were going towards Andy's parents' road. They went to somebody's house because in the one picture, I'm going to do another video, that you can see in the background that they're on somebody's property. There's a car in the back. You can see Marlena walking across. Of course, I got all kinds of shit from them YouTubers that are locals about that, but it wasn't in Dawn and Candace's yard. They can even keep the story straight either about cutting of the hair. No, and they're sitting right beside each other, and their stories are totally different. Don covered up because Candace made him think Josie did it, which Candace did blame Josie day one. Yeah, I don't believe the kids did it. And I believe that they pushed people looking in that direction because a child will not get a sentence like an adult. I think Candace's hair was cut off because of Josie. Oh, Jose. Oh, because of what she was doing. You think it's church related? There's something to that, and I'm sure when it goes to court, we'll know exactly what the hair cutting was about. Don said 7 alibi. Candace has none. She's going down. Yeah, and he's trying to backpedal away from that statement. But drunks tell the truth. That's something I feel very strong about, that DW is not the selfless type. Her punishment. It slipped on the Chris interview. He said Summer could have been injured from water in lungs or being in car all day when he was in that car with her. Yeah, but Green Eyes, you still got to look at it like, if adults did this to Summer, who better than to point fingers at than the underage minor? Because people aren't going to go as hard on a child as they will an adult. Summer's hair was cut just like Hunter. The undercut was. Go look at the pictures. Rock and Robin, I think Don shaved their heads to get the bleach and hair dye out of it, but Candace colored her hair still. Those alibis are bullcrap. Don couldn't have went to work, so everybody's seen him and left his phone in the car. There, work, and use his boss' red truck. Or Kiki, did Marlena go and pick up Don in the green Suburban? Because now we know the Suburban, he had spent thousands of dollars getting it fixed. And he was mad because when he went to jail the last time, Candace sold it for $1,000 when he had put thousands in it. Remember that weird speech Don gave to the news regarding something about the resurrection? So bizarre. Yeah, I do. I do think Candace was pimping this poor baby out, but I'm for sure she was being essayed by her dad. Where's Summer? JSB had that same haircut. Summer was watching TikToks while they shopped for groceries, snuggled next to him, out of seatbelt apparently. So who put Summer back in the seatbelt? Yeah, and put her sweatshirt on and dented the milk so her head would fit in it and put the blood on her belly. I wonder that myself. Head shaving isn't innocent. Never believe it. Done for reasons made. Daughter-in-law shaved my grandbaby's head every time she got angry at him, or even me. I commented how handsome he was. Evil it is. And I believe that. You see, this is what TBI means when they say this case is out of the norm. These people are such weirdos that TBI has never seen anything like them. No, and you start going down the rabbit hole and all the people associated with each other, and you're like, what the actual F? My old man said, oh, we should move to Tennessee. We should sell everything here and move to Tennessee. I said, I would never, ever move to Tennessee now. DW and I share the same contrary nature. I would never comply with the threat. If Dawn did call saying somebody on the hill wanted to touch kids, sounds like a customer. Whatever was going on, that they both are guilty, in my opinion. Exactly. I believe they both know. I don't know if you guys seen my video, but the day they were doing the press conference that the horse ran down the road and that one little black truck came by, it's the same truck that JLR filmed following Candus with that canoe, and Candus was in the green Suburban. I wish he would have followed him and seen who that was. The gist of it all, no one will never know the truth as to what happened to Summer, but we do know they're guilty of something, and CW is behind every second of what happened to Summer 100. Yeah, any mother who allows, because she said that wouldn't have happened if I would have been around. What is that? What is the that she's referring to? No mother is going to stand by and let somebody hurt their child unless something is wrong with that mother. Did he say he was off the shits that day referring to grandmother? Yeah, I would not move to Tennessee either now. I had no idea what a mess they have there. I know, Alicia, it's a beautiful state. But if that's what goes on in the woods where you thought you were going to have some privacy and be one with nature, not the kind of nature I want. What about the text from 6/4/21? Was that a pre-run in preparation or purely coincidence? Probably a pre-run. Too many things happened prior to Summer going missing that is weird. That's all I can say. Candace repeatedly made a point that she had to remove the seatbelt everywhere they stopped. Yeah, and why? Because she not, as far as they're testifying to everybody, is that Summer never got out of the car after the swimming hole. Two lives I watched today allowed us to have our opinions, which is rare nowadays in this community. Appreciate you when evil entered. At Lily Eve, it should be like that everywhere. Why would you try to force somebody to think the same way as you? This would be a horrible world if we all thought the same. How boring that would be. They say we have right brain thinkers and we have left brain thinkers. So we're all going to see things from a different perspective. Nothing wrong with that. It's when somebody tries to force you to take their opinion. That's never going to happen with me. The news tries to do that every day to the world. They can't stand it that people woke up and it's like, nah, I don't believe you anymore. And the sad thing is, Ronnie Lawson said they didn't have no drug problem. Of course, they don't have no kitty pee problem, no drug problem, no unaliving problem. When the news says they do, the arrest says they do. And the one thing I've noticed with all these cases is people who gotten arrested for kitty pee, for trafficking, for all of that, all have come because of outside agencies have brought it to the attention of the Attorney General. Why didn't Ronnie Lawson's agency find these people? Or did he and just never arrested them, but had to, because when outside agencies get involved, it's kind of hard to cover everything up. He has to tell the guys, oh, no, sorry, but you're going to have to do time for this. When Unmasked asked Allie first about the drowning, Allie lied, said no. Then Leslie, suspect, said what H told her about the drowning. Tyra, I'm in Knoxville. It's not that bad. Grace, it might not be that bad, but after watching this case, it just makes me not want to live there. I don't want to vacation there. And it's sad. I know it goes on in the whole world, but you just never thought so many people would be living so close to each other who all did such despicable things to children. And look up Florida Disney World. Look it up. That's where most children disappear. Yeah, I don't doubt that. They've caught a lot of sex offenders who are working there as the characters. I really, really want her to be found, is what you're trying to write, I think. Yep, there is drugs in every city. But it's funny. You see how big Polk County, Florida is? We have one unsolved unaliving. One. And Grady said if somebody would talk, that case would be solved too. When them 3 boys who went fishing that night was unalived, the whole law enforcement community in Florida pulled together, pushed things through the lab, and made arrests in days because they all worked together in unison. I thought, oh, I missed it. Does anybody know the habits of what radio station C would listen to when driving? I don't. I feel like drugs are being ran there to destroy y'all. Drugs are being ran everywhere, from Mexico to the United States, to screw up our whole population, I believe. Meth is like one of the worst drugs I've seen in my lifetime. Drugs, drowning, highly doubt kidnapping to that day. Missing for a month when she did that. Just very strange all around from everyone involved. I know I lived down there when that baby disappeared, and it blew my mind she got away with it. First time this channel, I like you. Please don't change. Justice for Summer, Moon, Utah Wells, and her brothers. Oh, thanks, Tennessee Blonde. Drinking, drugs, drowning. But they sang a kidnapper popped up too. No kidnapper went to that hill, unless it's somebody known to them. Our government is attacking us with drugs. I believe that. Lightning never strikes twice in the same place. No, I believe a lot of things that are going on in this world is designed that way, from the stock market crashing. You just don't know who to trust anymore. The people who are supposed to look out for you are the ones who are destroying us from within. They want us to fight against each other, because if people got together in unison, just like in Summer's case, we'd be one hell of a force. Whatever Don and Candace hear that's going on to be the newest story. Meth is bad everywhere, but it's so much more noticeable in rural areas. Yeah, meth is a horrible drug. I think it was made by Satan. That's my personal opinion. Maybe that milk she was leaning on was Donnie's spoiled milk. Well, we know it wasn't cold because it wasn't sweating. Yep, divided we fall, Alicia. Fentanyl is worse than anything. Yeah, fentanyl is real bad too. Dawn has blamed everyone and everything except alien abduction. That'll be next. That will be next. If a lot of people start talking about that in the chat, he'll come on and he'll say that's what it is, because he always goes with whatever the popular opinion is, as long as it benefits him. What is meth like? I'm in UK. It's like speed or coke or heroin. No, I don't know. Anybody I've known who got on that lost everything. They become weirdos. They do things they wouldn't have normally done. Meth and fent, Satan's death now. HCSO is unlike any LE that I have ever known. Yeah, me either. Yes, Karen, and methamphetamine. What they call father was my pimp. That's what I called him, not father. Nobody makes anybody pick up drugs. They do it themselves. Karen Ann, it makes monsters is the only way I know to describe that drug. That's true. They even have a thing called meth psychosis, which people really are way out there when they get on it. My father was my pimp, and I say father very lightly. I'm sorry, Kiki. It's horrible. I don't know what makes people that way. I just don't understand it. Methamphetamine is a chemical base, and it makes you high for days sometimes and causes paranoia and violence. Days. I've known people who stayed up for weeks, and they're crazy. JSB did mention things going on in a basement. Just saying. Yeah, who puts a two-way mirror in a basement where people can see in from the outside? Nobody makes people do drugs, but they have flooded cities and towns with it, bringing the people to the floor. I've been waiting for Dawn to accuse a Sasquatch for Summer's abduction. All 9 children are survivors. We are okay. Well, I'm glad, Kiki. It's hard to pick up and get your life together, but if you don't, then the people who did that to you win. Same here, Tennessee Blonde. My first time here as well. Well, thank you, Carrie, for being here. I like getting other people's opinion. I'm one that I don't know it all. I'm never going to claim to know it all. Can I be wrong? Yes. Can I use common sense? Yes. Am I open to other people's ideas? Yes. How do I learn if I don't listen and talk with others? Fentanyl does not just kill one that's doing it, but kills police officers, children, and everyone else. Yeah, a little baby that was 11 months old went to an Airbnb and touched something that had it on it, and she passed. CM was on court TV talking about something bad was playing on the TV when Candus showed him the basement. I heard Don played a Girls Gone Wild video. Yeah, that was on when the interview room went there. The ingredients in meth cause cancer. Well, I bet it's all cleaning products. I mean, are you gonna shoot up or drink or smoke your Drano? Rat poison? Battery acid? I don't know. Haven't they made a movie out of there like those Mountain Boys? That's what Tennessee reminds me of now. I'm scared to touch things in Publix because of the fent. It's a scary world. It was some like Chick Web Live X. Yeah, if that's normal people in that county, I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't have nothing for nobody there then, because that's not my normal. All right, you guys, I've been on here for hours. I thank everybody who came in here to chat, because like I said, we can all learn something from each other. I started my channel because I wanted to put out what I was seeing or thinking. So I'm open to everybody's thoughts and opinions, because really that's all we got. We only got what they show us. We can only go off what they show us. We don't have, it ain't the gospel. But thanks, you guys, for coming. And pray for Summer. Pray she's found. Until next time, you guys.